You're listening to Back in the Day, Nostalgic 90s.
Here with the lads, calling out, this is not local radio, this is not national radio, this is worldwide radio. We now call it podcasting. Welcome to hear your voice on the show. You should be commenting. Dean is by my left-hand side and his voice is ancient.
And live from the Assembly Hall in G Block. Settle down, everyone. Please cross your legs on the parquet floor. Try not to get a splinter in your bum. Elkin, stop picking your nose. I'm I'm Dean, and with my friend Stitch, we're looking back at school days, a time when your identity was defined by whether or not you were allowed to stay up late enough to watch The Word. Young lady, button yourself up. Take those earrings out now. It's time to talk double maths, school dinners that were 90% gristle, and the legendary status of the kid who owned a pager. Let's get into it, Stitch.
Coming up on the show, all those things and much more. What did you have for lunch? Was it dinners or was it sandwiches in your box? And what games did we play at lunchtime? If we weren't having mass football matches and scuffing up our knees and our shoes and getting balls in our eyeballs, what were we doing? And teachers, are you out there? Which ones did we like and which ones did we not like? All coming up next. There we go. My friend said to me, when I told him I was doing a podcast, Dean, he said, I've listened to it. And he says, it seems like a couple of guys talking a load of. But then he said, a little bit like Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant. So the first thing he said, we were talking a load of old tripe. And then he said, like two legends of the game. So I have that.
Don't mind if I do. I don't mind that.
No. Yeah.
And I'll take some more if you don't mind.
Yes. Yes. The lines are still open. If you want 5 minutes with the legends Stitch and Dean under a blanket or in a sweaty box under a cupboard on some stairs, you are welcome. But you need to tell me where my most famous platform is. Where am I most famous? I bet you never get it. Give it a spin.
Yes, coming to you from the sweaty box and under the blanket. And boy, am I feeling the heat under this blanket, Stitch.
He's looking like it's also little bit biblical. You're not the Jedi Knight today. You're a little bit Joseph multicolored jersey, aren't you? I think.
Yeah, cross between Joseph, uh, husband of Mary,
Yeah.
and Joseph, Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yes. Okay. A mix of both.
Yes.
School dinners or bring your own lunchbox. What were you?
Bit of a mix. I had at time, no, for a while I had lunchbox. My mum would cook up really cheap burgers, really cheap burgers, and beef, and then she cut them up and put them in sandwiches, and they were absolutely rank. And sometimes she'd do the
Thanks, Matt.
same with really cheap, awful sausages. And but after a while, we realised that because I came from a place of depravity, not depravity, deprivation,
Right.
two different things.
Yes.
We didn't have much money at all. I was entitled to free school dinners, and
Right.
so
He's
I
a
was able to,
Palpatine state. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So we worked this out by the time I was halfway through middle school, and so I was able to get free school dinners. It was really good though when I got up to secondary school. Yeah, the dinners were much better up there at Froome College.
Right. Oh,
I
you
used to
kept
get a
going, did
yeah,
you? That's not bad.
kept it
Off
going.
and
Yeah,
down the
with
free
the free
road.
school, yeah, free school dinners, we were entitled to 56 pence per day.
No.
But remember this,
What could
yeah,
you
well,
buy
when I
now?
was,
What could you buy with
yeah,
that now?
Well, not much now, but back then,
Back in
remember
the
I left
day.
school 1987, so this was from 1985 to 87. For 56 pence, we could get three sausages, chips, and beans. So there were three of us,
Indeed.
three mates, and we had the same lunch all the way through secondary school every day. Three sausages, chips, and beans. And
54p.
yeah, 56p, yeah. And it came to bang on 56p. That was our allowance. And well, occasionally we could go back for seconds as well. And all they had sometimes was loads of baked beans left over. So we
Cool.
just fill up on baked beans and blow off all afternoon.
Oh, I've got a great blowing off story. I have to
Oh,
put that.
yes.
I have to put that in another show. Talking about other shows, we've had a outpouring of interest in our car shows, and there's lots we haven't shared, and lots of messages we haven't connected with you. So the 6.1 will be coming out, followed by 6.2 and 6.3, and I'm pretty sure the school days will as well, because Dean's just told me something there that's told me a great story, which you will have to hold on to in another show. Lunches, I used to have a little lunchbox, Tupperware. Do you remember them? And
Yeah.
I used to have a divider. Do you remember the dividers? So there's a divider to divide the cake and your apple from your sandwich because you didn't want your Kimberly whatever is slice uh, or your custard tart getting mashed up with my Marmite or marmalade sandwiches. I was poorer than you. I didn't have any meat. I only remember having lemon curd sandwiches or peanut butter sandwiches. That's what I used to have, and an apple and a French slice.
Yeah. We were the sandwich generation, weren't we?
Certainly,
But
yeah, absolutely.
not the nice deli sandwiches,
No,
just the chuck whatever you had in the cupboard into
yeah,
between a couple of slices of white bread
but
and
made
send your kids off to school.
unbelievable. Made and we survived until the end of the day. We talked about mass football matches, young Dean, which were glorious and also terrible. But were there any other things we did at lunchtimes when football wasn't cool or on rainy days?
Hmm. Well, I remember a bit of shove hate me, or our
Yeah,
version of shove hate
yeah,
me. It
yeah,
involved a two pence piece. Yeah, so you
yeah.
get one, two, you get three shoves to get it to the other edge of the other end of the table, then
Mm,
flick it up in the air, and the other person would make a little goal with his fingers,
yeah,
and then you'd spin the coin and catch it between your thumbs and shoot.
brilliant.
So that's
Endless.
how we played it.
We
Yeah.
played it similarly, and sometimes we'd had under and over. You can't see this on radio, where you did like a rugby post. You could do
Oh
this
yeah.
one for the football listeners, or you could do the rugby post, and then they would say under, under, in or under, and then you'd have to go over the posts or in the posts. Shove halfpenny. There was also another one. There was one played just with one halfpenny, wasn't there? No, there's one where you just had to shove it, just one, and it had to land on the edge of the table. Then you'd flicked it, and then there was another one where there was three, and you always had to go in between each other and then shoot for goal. Did you ever do
Ah
that one?
yes.
Yeah,
Can't remember the exact rules. Yeah, but you had three coins. But
yeah,
again, we'd use tuppences. Yeah, and each time you did a shove, it had to go in between the other two.
yeah. Or couldn't touch. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you had to
yeah.
space out your shoves, space out the two coins, and then
Uh,
shove one through.
I remember it should have been maybe it was rainy days then. There was like because the tables were just the right size and it was everyone was sitting down and having matches and then quarterfinals and semi-finals and the other people who weren't playing were watching it. It was like a real event.
Yeah, we had there were sort of crowds at either end. For us, it was K Block in Room College. Yeah, we're in
Right.
K Block, and we had a pretty big common room and assembly hall. So you'd have different crowds. They'd either be watching like Shove Ate Me there in its various forms, or there'd be a card game going on,
Right.
and people would be crowded around watching that. Or at some point, there was breakdancing as well, because breakdancing became huge
Yeah.
in 1985, 86. So
Right.
we'd have kids breakdancing in the corner, like
Yes.
doing head spin, proper
Spinning
head
on their
spins.
heads. Yeah,
Mm.
body popping, walking backwards. Yes. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
then the teachers came out and stopped it because they thought head spins was even then when there was a rather common sense approach to health and safety. Even then, they thought it was a bit off letting kids do head spins in the common room. So, so they put an end to that. So we still had break dancers, but
Yeah.
you just weren't allowed to spin on your head.
What about the skateboards? Did you ever have those? They were very, very small and you only used them with your fingers. So they were finger skateboards and they were doing tricks with them. Did you have that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I
I
had one because it was only affluent kids who had them, but they were quite cool. I don't know why, but you had to have them.
finger skateboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
had one.
Yeah. Shove Apney. Remote control cars. My mate, I told you my telepathetic football player, Thorny, he started bringing remote control cars in and they built a course of tires or boxes or something and they raced it sometimes in the inside in like the gym room or something and another time outside in the car park. Did you ever had remote control racing?
No, we didn't. But probably the reason for that was that well, most of the kids who had remote controls in my year were nutters, and so what they would do after school, they would go and race their cars, and they had this game where sort of a bit of a game of chicken, where they would dare each other to race their cars in front of lorries or under a lorry as a lorry was driving
Right,
past.
yes.
So none of the remote control cars survived long enough to get to school. They all
Dean's
smashed
mate,
up their cars.
yeah, Dean's mates sound very interesting. Anyway, boys and girls, we will be back after this advert. This broadcast is being supported by adverts outside the UK. 冒茅台，茅台好喝，比五粮液好喝多了，但是贵死人了，买不起。
You're
And back to
listening
this.
to back in You're listening to the Back in the Day Nostalgic 90s. Available on Spotify, Apple Podchaser, and YouTube. We have an Instagram page, Back in the Day Nostalgic 90s. Spell it properly, 90s, not 90, and you can send your DMs on that. Please, and your pictures that we can upload. Please comment on the shows, like, tell a friend. It really helps the show to grow. Back to the show.
You are still on the show. We are going to be talking about teachers you liked and didn't like any second now. Thank you for YouTube. Unbelievably, UK is number 3 in the charts. USA, Japan, and then the UK. So YouTube doing a great job, and we also have some more subscribers. So thank you for that. Do we have one more message on Spotify, Dean? I think. Isn't there one we've missed out?
There is one more message, and this is on pertains to the show Rolling with the Wheels. And this is from Martin, and he says, great show, guys. You only have one first car. A little red Vauxhall Corsa with 3-spoke alloys and a cheeky little spoiler on the roof for me. The memories.
Super.
Spoiler on the roof.
Yes. There's lots and
Lovely.
there's there's lots and lots we can do about cars. Keep your comments coming in about cars or about school because this we've just realized this is endless. We will do bonus shows in contact. And she said, I listened to the pilot. That's about blinking 2 months ago. Keep up. You are missing an intro tune. So I said to her, we have got one, and hopefully it's working. It's hopefully working. We might have had a few hiccups, but it's
Hmm.
hopefully working. She also said she agreed that I look like Steve Merchant, and Dean sounds like the Friday night dinner guy. I don't know what you think, but maybe she's got something
Oh,
on that.
Friday night dinner. Yeah. Mark Firth, I think. I think that's his name.
Right. Yeah.
Correct us in the comment section if I'm
If you're
wrong. Yes.
wrong or right.
Yeah. 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 We were missing a tune to start with, weren't we?
Yeah.
But that's all sorted out now, I hope.
We've got it. Thanks to our editors, you will be working overtime, our musicians, and our voiceover girl. Teachers we liked, Dean. There couldn't have been many of them. I didn't like many. The ones I liked, well, we'll do that another one in a sports section or a PE section. Um, Mr. Baker was his name. I liked my English teacher. She was all right. Then my history teacher. He, I hated history, but the way he taught it made me like it. And then the other teachers, I can't really remember. Which ones did you like?
I remember my history teacher. She was great fun. She'd do silly voices and mess around and to lark around.
Mm.
And she was married to the music teacher at Froome College. I
Ah,
think it was Mr. and Mrs. Marsh. Yeah, so I liked them both. I used to get told off and laid into by them both, but I still like them. So they were good. Biology teacher, Dr. Walters. I liked her until she married another teacher I didn't like. But no, I still liked her. And yes, Mr. Webber. Yeah, she was Welsh. Mr. Webber, another Welsh teacher, English teacher, handsome man. And then there was a physics teacher. They were all Welsh. A physics teacher
why is
called
that
Mr.
your school?
Pierce. And
No,
he
when?
was
Mm,
yeah, he was Welsh, and he was a rugby player. And he used to coach us rugby at times as well. And it was
right.
him that taught me how to take the big guys down. He said,
Yes.
"Don't worry if you get a kick in the guts when you're tackling someone from behind. Just get in there around the top of the thighs." So yeah,
Yeah.
so he was good fun.
Mm. I can't remember many of them, but the ones that I remember weren't necessarily subjects I liked. There was a young bird that taught us English, and we always used to call her over for silly questions so she could come and talk to us. She used to drive a Mini, which I ended up driving, a little Mini Clubman. And then, yeah, Baker. Mr. Baker was our favourite. He was our PE teacher, but more on sports another day. The ones we played up on, dear me, this is so embarrassing. Mrs. Buckles was my science teacher, and she had absolutely no control. That was the one I was telling you. We used to bust into the room and had to sit in certain places, but never listened to her and sat where we wanted and didn't move when she told us to. Dear me, so disrespectful. You remember the science pipettes where you could suck in
Yes,
water? I don't.
yes.
We used to suck water from somewhere, and as she was drawing on the board, we used to squirt the board. Can you believe
How
that?
did how did she cope with you
I
all?
don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how she didn't put us. She never gave us detention. We never had homework, and she did. She used to get annoyed, but never used to shout. But science is a nightmare, isn't it? Because there's Bunsen burners and pipettes and ointments and different gases and stuff. The amounts of mess we made, and oh man, that was terrible. Poor kid. She was a little bit older though, so I think maybe we thought we could. She didn't mind, but she probably did. Who did you used to play up with?
I didn't play up with any of them. Remember it back in 1986, 1987, when I was coming up to my CSEs and O levels. I was the last year before GCSE started, as with O
Right.
levels. Beside the point, but teachers had a bit more control in them days. We had
Wow.
teachers, we had teachers who would actually beat children up. I mean, proper bloodbath. We had teachers who would offer you outside after school. And okay, they get a little rap on the knuckles from the head teacher, for being heavy-handed with us. But yeah, they were different times.
Wow.
They used to get away with stuff that if they tried it now, they might as well just drive straight to prison and deliver themselves to the prison gates. You know.
Well, back in Dean's day, I'm now realizing that Dean's day is slightly different to mine. There was no punishment. The strongest punishment I can remember was homework, which was really annoying, or standing outside the headmaster's office, or the dreaded one, phone call to the parents. If you do that again,
Oh,
phoning the parents, that was the one I hated the most. Yeah, that was
yeah.
terrible.
We didn't get any of. I didn't get any of that. No, we had teachers which would lay into us. It really, really would. Young people now, they may not believe it when I relate it, but it really was like that. We had
Yeah. Well,
teachers having fights with children and threatening to beat them up, and yeah.
whapping the children. My physics teacher, this is another story. It's embarrassing to tell you. He had like a stutter. So we used to mimic him. Physics teacher, I've forgotten his name now. And he used to stand at the front and go, oh, stop messing about. Like this. And we just used to copy him uh, and just say it back to him. And then, not only that, we used to scrape. It was like wooden tables. We used to scrape our names and stuff on the tables. And he used to put up with it. And then one day, after months and months of this treatment, he lost it and shouted at us. And then he got us back in the room lunchtime, so we couldn't play football, and we had to sand them down
Oh,
to get rid of the marks. I don't know how we'd make. Oh, we used to have those things. What were they? Little compasses, weren't they? To do like circles and that.
yes. Yeah,
So,
with a point on one end,
yeah,
and then you could your
pencil the
feather
other.
pencil in
Yeah,
the other.
I
Yeah,
think we used them to scratch into the tables. So he got us to
yeah.
sand down.
I used to get one of those, and I tape it to the end of a ruler and go around stabbing other pupils with it.
How did we? Okay, so we didn't just used to mock the children. We no, not just mock the teachers. How did you try and do tricks or pull pranks on other students?
Um, I did not. No, it did go on, but it wasn't so much pranks, I think, as just sort of more hardcore bullying.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
No.
I mean, sometime there was one time when I was in the library. The library, it must have been raining. It was packed with children, and two. There was a gap in between two tables. Anyway, I was led. I was sort of leant across the table, and certain part of my anatomy was wedged into the gap. I didn't even realize it. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just wedged into the gap, and then two lads got either end of the table and rammed the tables together to try and trap me. And I realized what was going on and just pulled out just in time.
Otherwise, he might have been
Yeah,
half the size as he is now. We used to.
yeah, yeah.
We used to put tic tacs, is that what they called tic tacs? The little pins with a base on them on people's chairs. So if they
Tin
use
tacks.
tic tacs, yeah,
Yeah, tin tacks.
tin
Yeah,
tacs,
tic tacs
okay.
are the sweets, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought I'd written it wrong. So if they left their chair for any reason, they'd come back and then you keep talking to them, then they'd sit down and their tin tac will go up their rear. And then they got clever. So they thought, I'm going to check my seat before I sit down. But so what we got even clever, we used to put the tin tacks in their coat. So they used to lift up their coat, see nothing down, put their coat back down, and then sit down heavily and happily, and then still get the tin tacks up their rear. Fantastic, fantastic that was. So you could never leave your chair. And the other thing was you could never be sick because we used to draw the unthinkables on each other's books. So if anyone left the room, no, not left the room. If anyone was sick, we used to find their book and graffiti it to high heaven. Yeah, unbelievable. Most revolting. So Dean never got involved
Great.
in those. He was just
No, that
busy,
wasn't for
too busy
me.
getting beaten up by the teachers after class. Uh,
Absolutely pulverized.
yeah, superb. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got so much to tell you. Pulverizing, the bullying. We haven't even done the fashion yet, and all we haven't even done the sports. We will have to hold on for another time to hear those stories, doing the
Does it?
sports
Yeah.
stories.
Sounds like a bonus show, doesn't it?
It's got to be, isn't it? Bonus stories.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
So
what,
much we haven't covered.
did you see any of the subscribers there? Have you got, did I send you them, Dean? The YouTube subscribers? Shall we give them a shout out? Thank them for their subscribing.
I
We used to have 8
yes,
subscribers. I think we've now got 13. So that's an increase.
that's right. We have some new subscribers. We have Martin Van Lyrop,
Thank you,
if
Martin.
that's the right pronunciation. Yeah, that's right. And we have Erwin Pinsky
We have.
on
And lower,
YouTube.
yeah, thank you, boys. I think you're boys. And we also got Fei Fei, who is an old student of mine who's now in the UK on a program. Quite an educated young lady. Wish her well and thank you for following us on YouTube. Feel free to comment. Now followed by 17 countries. Malaysia. Oh, I've got friends over there, so thank you for that. We will be over there during the summer. And Iraq. Can you believe that? 2 countries following us. This is gripping stuff, though, Dean. We did say 10 days ago Japan were on the score sheet, but now, if you look at the charts, they are number 4 or 5. So it's UK, United States, Bulgaria, China, then Japan. So Japan have snuck in there between Taiwan and Hong Kong. So out of nowhere, they are up there in the top 5, I think.
Oh, come on, Japan. Give Bulgaria a run for
Yes,
their money.
yes. And country 18, closer to home, new entry, Germany, a European friend of ours, just over the water, and is not in at the bottom of the league, which is interesting. So stay tuned. We are opening up. Not Dean has just mentioned we will do extra pods on this school subject because we've only just touched the surface. We are going to do a poll. What would you like to hear on show 10? Would you like heroes, your first job, or bikes? Please let us know. I'm gonna have crackers and cheese and a bit of mulled wine. I don't know what's on your menu tonight, Dean.
Oh, I'll have to think about it when I get home. But that's another episode done. Gold stars all round. House points too. We'll be back in 10 days, folks, unless we get suspended again.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please download, comment, and tell a friend.